Did I mess it up? I
I
could
think
have
you
messed
may
it up.
have.
Um,
So
I
C
got
is
it here
coming
as well.
through. It's 10:30 a.m. my time.
Oh, okay.
And
I'll
I
have a
just
look at
did
that.
that this morning. So
Yeah, yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I have there's a Google Calendar that people can subscribe to. It's not as easy as I'd like it to be. It should be just a one click, but it isn't like that. Um,
mm.
if you're adding it to Outlook or Apple Mail or that type of thing, it does takes copying and pasting and subscribing to it. But once you do that, then it's okay. Um, all right. I'll have a look at that while we're chatting through things. Um, so start that and that. Hello, Kelly. I haven't heard your voice. I haven't heard your happy new year voice. Oh, and we're not going to either. Apparently, oh,
No, apparently not.
it frozen.
It froze.
Ah,
It
well,
froze.
that's all right. It's not the worst view of me.
It's a slow start to the year.
Honestly, it's this laptop. It can't cope with me having spreadsheets open and also the camera. It just does not want to. So maybe I'll turn my
Right.
camera off.
Fair enough. Well, it's nice to have you here, and I think Laura is in the
I was going to
background
say
as
we got
well.
Laura in the house too.
That's right.
She'll be in a big group office.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
so probably
Nice.
won't be able to talk to us. But hi Laura, nice to have another Kiwi on.
um, right. So, what's new? What's new in Events
I
Air
have a question.
world? Okay, good. Off you go.
um Groups. I've asked this in the events Facebook group. And I'm still struggling because so basically I've got a client who's doing group registrations of a discount if they buy 10, at least 10 or more. And she wants them to be able to basically get an invoice straight up. Um, I've just set up the group allocation portal. Oh, and sorry, adding with that, people might not know who the names are of the people attending, but she wants them to be able to get an invoice straight up. So I've set up the group allocation portal. It's just not, it's not as easy as I thought. I've used the group registration app quite a lot and I really like that. But for that, you still have to go through the registration process to get registrations logged in there. Um, the group allocation portal is just, I can sense that when I show it to her, she's going to say that's too complicated. Um, and it's quite hard to manage, like if there's a change of mind, or like I added two functions to someone's record and there's no way to then change that other than cancelling them and starting again, basically. So just wondering if people have any other ideas of how to do. I've thought about having like two group registration forms. One's just like so that if they have a group of 10 but they don't know the people, having them to go to that one, and then it just all seems so messy.
Yeah, and it's a shame Kelly just dropped off. She said Zoom killed her laptop.
I know.
Because I've been um sort of liaising with Kelly about it. She's doing a similar thing. Look, I use the group portal, but I only get a couple that will actually use it. But it is hard that you can't do like a discount unless you set up a new interactive site. And like for us, the only time we use the group portal is for our main conference, and we'll get people who can register for an in-person or they can register for a virtual. So I usually take them back to our main site. And it does work, but the issue is if they register on different days, even though in the portal the group coordinator can see the invoice and pay, I've never been able to get one invoice from it. Like I think it won't create it. So it would be great if the group. Sorry, Francis, this isn't helping your question, but I think it would be great if, like, the group organizer could go in, say how many tickets they want to purchase, and then they get, this is what you want really, they get the invoice then of 10, and then a bit like how the exhibitor portal works, then they can go and register their 10. Like, that
Yeah.
would be amazing if you could do that, because then if there was a discount, you could add the discount because they've already purchased the 10. Yeah, I think it would be good if it had, like, I would love it if it had that option, because I would think I would then offer to more companies, like, okay, if you're going to register 10 employees, you're going to get this much discount. I think a lot more people would take it up. But when it is so hard for us to manage,
Yeah.
I haven't really pushed it.
So I tried using the group bit on the interactive site and then having logic on the first page that said if the first name or last name, maybe just the first name, contains TBC, then skip this page so that we could get some of the key details, but not everything, but it just didn't work. I tried, caps, no caps, all sorts of things, and yeah, so that didn't work. I was like, well, what's the point with a contains if it's not actually working? Ah, Kelly. Oh no, it's Laura. Oh no, so Laura's having the same problems.
Could you do it that you have, it would be a lot of work, but you'd almost have to set up 2 portals. So one portal maybe is where they go in
if they
to
don't
then
know.
link to an interactive site where they just purchase their 10.
Yeah.
And then once they've purchased their 10, then you could almost do like the exhibitor portal for them. But that would
But
just,
then that's
that
an
that makes my head hurt.
Yeah.
How many will it be, do you think? Like how many groups like this? Enough to be annoying?
Maybe, I mean, they did have a reasonable uptake in 2024. And 24, they had 3 different types. They had 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, or 30 to 50,
wow.
I think. And I was like, that's just a lot of work for the fact that I think there was only 1 big group and 2 like 20 to 30 groups, but there were maybe 10, I think. So I mean, I like the group inventory and the fact that you can allocate that stuff, but because then I created a registration form and I was like, I can't find where to put group inventory on the registration type. Because that's how I thought it worked, is that they kind of went through the process of a registration form and said who was getting what, rather than just literally allocating, because it's been a really long time since I've even looked at that portal. And yeah, because the group registration app, you can't actually just say, I want these many registrations. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I think, oh God, it was back in 2022. I think I had the option where people could register their group, or they could use the portal to get them, because the portal, mainly you're using it so that they can go and register, so that every person can register themselves. But I can't remember. I think the group.
Oh, that's right. The other concern with the group allocation portal is that the group contact can import all their details, but it's just the basic contact details. So then there's the potential they're going to be chasing them for dietaries and all the other stuff that the client wants to know.
I think that's what Lucy was saying in on the comments of the thing too, right? Was that they would then send the auto login link to the rego form to the individuals to then complete the registration. As in, so that the start of the registration, but it's not complete.
Yeah.
And then send them the auto login that'll take them straight back to their registration form, and then they can fill in all the extra bits. I guess that kind of makes sense, but
it does make sense, and you're still reliant on the group coordinator doing that,
chasing
and
them up,
having to check and chase up Whereas at least with the group registration app, when they send that email out, I mean, I guess the other option is, could you just do a simple registration form for the group contact, get them to purchase how many registrations they want?
I think that's what she was saying. We
And
use
that's
group.
what I was going to suggest, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how you can allocate that 10, say, at that stage, and how they can select that, so you then get the discount. 'Cause it's the discount that's important, isn't it? Off that 10.
So all they've done is they've set like a group it's just a group discounted rate.
Yeah.
So it's literally a fixed rate as long as you've got at least 10 registrations.
I just can't remember. So I haven't done groups for
Yeah.
it's how they allocate that 10, because the 10
Yeah.
could be in their record, and then they allocate them out to the people.
Yeah. And that's what you can't do in the registration.
No, 'cause I feel like you have to do that manually. I can't even remember having to.
You would have to
Somebody
do
would go and
like,
buy it. Yeah.
I mean, I guess in the
It's
back
only a
end-
radio button or a checkbox, isn't it, that they can select for.
Yeah. No, yes.
But couldn't you
Yeah.
actually, I was just thinking, because usually when you tick that checkbox for registration,
Mm,
doesn't it say how many tickets that's worth?
not in registrations.
Not in
The
registration.
functions.
Oh yeah, function. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least there's nothing like no one's going.
Nothing
"Oh,
obvious."
That's a great way to do this. Again, I guess from an events here build perspective, it's along that ticket purchasing line rather than a registration. That's probably why you can't do it, because that's
Well, you
almost-
can imagine if it was like the exhibitor portal where
yeah.
you could set up, like an exhibitor books their booth that has different entitlements.
Yeah.
It's just doing that. So I guess
But it's also
if they
not
could
both.
add the portal to
Yeah.
have that you in the portal, the group coordinator goes in and purchases what requirements they need.
But again, you don't thinking through that. We set that in the back end. We say exhibitors get 2 registrations and sponsors get, like a platinum gets 10. That's not something that they choose, actually. So they can't, they still don't get to go in and say, I want these many registrations. So
Yeah.
that would be a case of, again, having to put in like you can go up to 50 registrations and then they just go in but it's still, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jess's use of selling tables of 8, and then using the expo portal to allow them to provide the names afterwards. That's a clever way of doing it. But you're saying that you need tables of 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 and
That's the problem.
Mm.
Is that it's not like a fixed amount, it's them choosing. And again, it's the, I mean, I've seen people do TBC, but then
Yeah.
what happens is that we've got stuff in the registration form. We've got preferred first and last for name tags. So we
Yeah,
can't,
so
and
but
all sorts of
isn't-
other information.
But isn't that what Lucy was saying? Because I feel like we use group inventory to generate the invoice. And then when they send the names, generally drip fed one by one, we allocate from group inventory and then send the auto login to the rego form. I'm assuming that they're sending that to the final
contact.
registration,
Yeah,
through to the contact so that they can complete the form. Doesn't
Right.
that achieve what you're saying? Where
It
you're
does.
collecting the right data from the actual individual that's going to be
Yes.
there? Now she's saying that you
Yes,
then
it's just
end
that
up.
manual process. Because internally you've then got to do that. But maybe it's
Not
easier.
everything's automatic in this world yet, Francie.
Why not? I won't use AI, but I want this to be automated.
That's
Um,
yeah.
yeah, okay. Maybe I'll suggest that as an option and do because the group inventory is the only way I think, as far as I know, to get that invoice of
Still, yeah. It's still less than ideal because it's saying the registration, it's doubles up the registration then as well.
yeah.
But I guess you can keep track of it. Dior's just teasing us with his.
Oh, I am. You look, it's a bit gloomy today here.
Oh, that looks like a tough life.
He's up
I was going
he's
to,
up in
other than sharing the beautiful location I'm in, I don't know if this is going to answer your question, but we've used the group registration in conjunction with discount codes. And I probably appreciate you don't necessarily know how to distribute those in this scenario if you don't know who the entities are. We do, so we can provide them a code. And I'm focusing purely on just getting the right invoice at the right price for the total number of people. So I just wonder whether maybe there's a solution in where if someone is looking to register for 10 people, they can apply, they get an auto email saying, thanks, now here's your code. You can go back and register now. Because I know it works really well for us in that when we do send out an email saying, looking forward to having you here, these are institutions that are actually members of this event.
Yeah.
And so they automatically, we have like 60 codes that go out, and depending on their membership level, they'll get however many registrations or expo, whatever the package is that we put together. And then their group booking simply just applies that code to X amount of regos as they're doing it. And inevitably there are a couple that are TBC, and then they go back and do that themselves. So I'm not sure if there's something in that or if you've thought about that, Francie, but it works well when you know those missing bits of the puzzle.
So you use a discount code to be like the total cost.
Yeah, well, we actually create a discount code, and from that, you can apply that code, to whether it's 20% off or it's a complimentary for someone buying over 10 registrations or whatever it might be. And so once they're exhausted and they've applied them to individuals, it just automatically recalculates and allows me to get the invoice out at that point in time, not knowing exactly who's coming, but at least I know that they've said, do you want 10 or 20?
Yeah.
You've got them and you've exhausted the number of discounted codes that you're allowed based on that, and away you go. But in that scenario, you'd have to, as I said, add a step where someone would have to show interest on the page saying, I'm interested in registering for 10. They get a reply back saying, okay, well then use this code.
Yeah. And we had that, and when I looked at 24, there were, like I say, I don't know, maybe 10 organizations who'd taken up the group discount, and there were anywhere from 10 to, it was all like everyone had different numbers of people. And it's that whole thought. And again, so I'm working with a client, and it's their client that's running the conference. And so I don't know whether it's the middle person potentially overcomplicating or worrying that there's going to be this TBC thing and it actually won't be that big a deal. Yeah. And because I can't talk direct to the end client, so I will have another conversation about it and be like, do we know exactly how likely this issue is, and if it's 10 people out of the thousands that are due to come, can we just manually deal with them at the time? Her concern is because she doesn't know Events Air, it's a real, and they used to use Events Air, so she doesn't know it, they do. It's hard, I think, for her because she doesn't know what the system can do and how it all works.
It sounds to me like automating this process is the least of your trouble with this event. you can't automate the relationships.
No, it's the joys of doing what I do, I guess.
Now I've been in that same position as well. You're a long way down the ladder, and then you're trying to make decisions, and sometimes business decisions that that you don't actually have access to. So
yeah.
sorry about that.
There's a few times where I've been like, can I just talk to them, please? Can I just talk to them?
Yeah. I've said it before on this, but there's been lots of processes that I've been like, I could automate this, like I could totally automate this, and I'll spend a day trying to automate something that could have been manually done in 3 or 4 hours, and so sometimes I get in that line, and I try to justify it to myself by saying that, but at least there won't be any human error in this process or whatever. But there won't be human error. There will just be all wrong.
Yeah.
They'll be consistently wrong if it's done automatically.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyway, yeah.
Okay. Anyone
okay.
else
Yes.
got anything that could be actually solved?
anything else messing around with?
I feel like one day I'm going to come with something that someone's going to be able to help me with.
I'm glad you keep coming with things. But of course, it's not the
it's great
basic
for you
things.
guys, not so good for me. It's interesting to talk about.
Well, look, I mean, I honestly do think that aside from EA doing, a whole new process to handle groups, which would be great, is exactly the way at least I talked about it.
Yeah.
I think you are left to a number of manual processes, like you're choosing between which manual process you're going to do.
Yeah.
And in that sense, sometimes the manual process that may be longer but less complicated is the better one to choose.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't take a lot of thinking about, but it is a process, it's going to be easier to do it, and also easier to delegate that to someone else as well, or a couple of people that are doing it. It is the way that I think about systems. Sometimes a simple system that might take longer is better than a more complicated system that if you just click this, then it does this and that does that. But it's like, how do I find that again? And, it's that type of stuff. So that's my advice. Take it or leave it.
And it is just good sometimes to talk about it and reassuring that it's not me just being stupid and not being able to find something.
Well, but I've been in that place where I'm like, okay, so if we export that to Excel and then import that back into EA, that will fix all of those. And then someone will say to me, yeah, but it's only 10 records. I've already done 5 while you've been talking about it. It's like, stop trying to complicate it. It's just changing a few records. So
yes. Okay.
There you go. Anna, have you got any tackling thing you're doing? Something you're trying to mess with?
No, not at the moment, actually. I'm just having a think then of what did I need, because there was an event. It was October. We were at and we were scanning. Our favorite thing. And it was to do with scanning into a function, and it was a guest of ticket that there was an issue with, but I can't remember. I wasn't actually on site, but it was handed over to me. So my colleague's not going to be there at the next one, and I haven't solved it yet, and I need to remember to look back at the notes to see what it was that the issue was, but it was something to do with the guest of ticket not scanning or not coming up.
That is an interesting one. We've got a large event that we had scanners on, and we had someone at the door, and a scanner at each door, and it was great, except that it needed a bunch of people. When we had 20 workshops going and we needed 20 people to be standing at the door, it just doesn't work. But yet they do want that data. They want to know for sure they've checked, they've signed in. So we're exploring doing QR code and people sign themselves in, which is fine, except when it's individual sessions and there's multiple sessions a day in that room. We think that, I've been messing around with sort of a digital sign of some description, whether it's an iPad or something that has the sign on it for that for that session, then people can sign in.
I've heard people talking about putting the QR code on the start of the slide deck.
Yeah.
Great presentation. But
So,
Yep.
so what do they want the data for? Because of CPD, they need the actual
Yeah, it's
individual.
usually that allocation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
CPD.
our CPD is based on it. We don't scan people in. It's just you pick up your legend, you get the points.
And
But
they-
we want the data of how many people are in different, like especially our like workshops. We want the actual data. And I think we had tried scanning people in, but it was glitchy and whatever. Anyway, I've seriously gone back to old school, and we have nightclub clickers that our student volunteers
Nice.
because sometimes like I don't need the data of the actual names. I just want to know how many
Yeah.
people have attended, and that's why like sometimes I'm like, go back old school.
Yeah.
It's
Go the manual process.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the idea of knowing numbers too. I think I said one time we built a little report that just shows particularly the workshop, so just functions, any function. When you have the inventory of the function, you've set however many it can have. It's kind of like overselling flights, right? Like if people don't show and there's still 5 seats, inevitably people show up on the day expecting to be able to just go to that workshop. Well, if we've got seats available, we'll take your money and we'll fill up that session, and so by having people sign in, we know exactly how many people are in that session, and then we can potentially oversell it or fill it up. So that's another reason that having them sign in is good. But
yeah.
if you have that, if it's left to the person to do that, then inevitably the number's not going to be right, and some people are not going to do it. Francie, that we talked about that. The first slide of the slide deck's great. The issue we have is when we've got 30 workshops running at once, that you've got to and most of those people are using their own laptops. It's like now you've got to get that, and it's like inevitably that just falls over. The thought that I just had as I was talking about it is that we're tied into the digital signage in these places as well, and so that we could actually have the QR code display on the outside of the room. Now, this is the other thing the client says.
That just brings you back to the honesty system, because people
Exactly.
will past scan and keep walking, right?
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say that to Lisa. Now, do you check credit card statements for any shopping that may have happened during that session? It's like, I can see that you played golf and you also were buying new shoes at the time that you said that you were in this session. Yeah, I mean, if the sessions are valuable enough, then people are going to come to them, right? But
yeah, we had a nurses. I very vividly remember this because we had nurses pair up with nurses conference down in Queenstown. It was one of the first ones that I ever did, 2014, I think it was. And we were in Queenstown, and we were like, there is no way that we are going to be able to keep these nurses in all the time. So that I because again they just do an overarching CPD. If you register and you turn up, then you get your CPD points. But yeah.
What about beacons, Grant? We
Yeah,
put beacons in the room.
I
know,
found
beacons.
declutter before Christmas. Found some events here, beacons.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
If anyone wants them, I'm never going to use them, I don't
I
think.
still have a pack here as well that I won at some.
Yeah, I think I won them or got them as a as a freebie or something.
The concept of the beacons is very good. Of course, it's just the privacy like enabling that can sound a little scary, like we want access to Bluetooth all the time, like it's like it's just people, I think even more so now are wary of that sort of stuff, tracking location type of stuff.
But if you want your CPD points, get on board or get out.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah.
That would only work if the same beacon ID could be assigned to multiple sessions. So if, session 1 finishes, session 2 starts, you're in the same room, same beacon number. It needs to be able to identify the fact that it's assigned to multiple sessions.
I thought it was a location. It's not.
You can assign it to a
Yeah.
session. Because the
Yeah,
session's
okay.
assigned to the location. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, see, that's going to be a problem too. Back to the drawing
Anyway,
board.
that's something else that we're playing with. Anything else?
Sorry, that was very.
I've been enjoying the incomplete registration. See, I'll say something positive. I'm
Oh,
having
yeah,
a positive Tuesday.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm really liking being able to track those people.
Yeah.
And also it's good you can, when you're finding your duplicates, you can do include. So then you can find ones where they might have an incomplete registration, but then you can say, oh, you've actually registered.
And then you went and registered. Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's my new weekly activity I love doing. And we send reminders to people who've incomplete. The only thing is I find that even though we've put it like an auto token to go back and go where they were at, most are just starting again. But then that's okay because I find them in the duplicates. So yeah.
So your process then is to dedupe first before you send out.
Yeah. So you dedupe including incomplete registrations. The only thing that I think I had already worked out before Renee presented it at Airtime was when you do the merge doc that you send to them, you have to put the filter in to include incomplete registrations. Because when I was first doing it, I'm like going to send it, I'm like, why is it blank? What's going on? And it's just because I think it was a new feature. I never had it. So
just hadn't enabled it. Yep.
If anyone's as silly as me and didn't know that, there you go. There's your
So can you just give me a quick, where do you switch that on? Because I haven't done it.
Yeah, so you do actually have to switch
I've
it
seen
on.
It as a button, but I can't remember where it is.
Yeah, so you've actually got to switch it on in your interactive site.
Right, okay.
Ah.
Yeah, so you
just go to a reg form or something.
Yeah, so you go to your interactive site, and I think it's in the details tab. Sorry, my computer's. It's in the details.
There's the box, capture incomplete registrations.
Yeah, so you actually have to do ticket on the reg ones.
But so it's not like a save registration, is it?
So they won't turn up. Like if you just go to a contact and go to try and search them, they won't show up. You have to filter incomplete registrations, so they don't sit in any of your.
But
data.
If they get that registration link, does it remember the stuff? Like if they've got to the end and just haven't hit submit, does it save everything that they've done? Cool.
So you can actually go in and impersonate them.
So it is effectively a save registration.
Yeah, you can go back in and see where it kind of went to.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and I can see the filter. It's under contact, including incomplete registration.
Yeah.
I just had someone asking if they can do a save, and I was like, "Oh, I know that this thing's here, but I haven't used it yet."
It would be like Francie, that's probably the next step. Would be good for people to say, oh, save and come back to later. Because I think when they incomplete just finish, they don't know. So it's you having to send the reminder. I mean, we're just doing internally, we're deciding sending them one reminder. If they don't register them, we're just deleting. We don't want to keep hounding people. But I am liking, that's my positive.
There's no button or anything. It's literally just if they close the browser before they're finished, that it saves it.
Yeah.
So you could potentially put some wording in to say, if you close this browser before you finished, we'll be in touch.
Pretty much.
Or contact us. or something.
Yeah, but that would, I guess, would be the next step, is that
Yeah.
if you could go save
You'll save
for
it
later.
later.
Yeah.
And
So
Lisa,
that's my
if-
positive, but there's a negative this week.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Lisa, can I
Dior.
just ask if they're during that incomplete rego process, they've reserved a ticketed workshop or whatever it might be. Obviously, that's not drawing on inventory until the submit button's clicked.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
well, it doesn't hit up. It doesn't hit up in any of my registration reports
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unless
or
you tick the
anything.
box.
I don't think I've tested to see if any is registered for workshops or things.
I'm
And
immediately
because-
thinking of I booked a flight not that long ago, and I got halfway through booking it and stopped. And then when I went back to try and fix it, there was no seats left. So I called up the airline and I said, "No, there's one there," but it had reserved that ticket for me. Maybe it was because of my membership level. I don't know, but like, damn it, I got to get on that flight. But it was remembering that it was already held in
Yeah,
inventory.
I did that recently too. And I think it was Qantas. And it said, because I'd logged in as my frequent flyer, it had said, we're holding this flight for you until, I think it was 48 hours or something to go and complete the booking. So I was just searching flight times.
Yeah.
And I
in,
never
Well,
see
in New Zealand, you've got to pay for that pleasure.
The ones that I've had so far, as an example, they've picked their ticket type. Well, ours is a bit different. We make them pick their ticket type first, and then they do their contact details.
Mhm.
So it only has so far got that far. It has. I haven't. That's usually when they give up.
So you
But at
then
least-
give them the site auto login back to that form and it picks up where they left off, does it?
Yeah.
It
yeah,
does save it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
far,
Cool.
others
the
might
data-
be experiencing different.
Data consent, though, right? Like they're accepting the data consent right
Oh,
up
yeah.
front,
Cool.
which is why they can store. Which is why
I think it's
Eventsia can
basically
store it.
wherever they get up to
Right.
submit, wherever they get up to and submit. I'm sure Eventsia would be able to answer it. I feel like whenever you hit that submit section, that's what it's
Yeah, right.
capturing.
saving the last bit. Yeah.
The next page button.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to play with that today because I'm doing it actually. So yay.
my negative,
Airheads for the win.
yeah, because I'm
Lucky you,
obviously-
Anna.
I know.
Sorry, Lisa.
No,
Things
no,
to get excited about.
because I'm not in a PCO. I'm in an association. So some of these functions of events I use once a year, and then you come back
Yeah.
to do it this year, and you're like, it's happening again. And I did ask my allied health group yesterday for help. We use for presenters, because we run a lot of workshops that actually need human patients. We use the AV section of a presentation
AV requirements.
to take their patient requirements. Which is fine. And I know Kelly is probably going to listen to this later on and go, Lisa, you just need to do a custom box or whatever. But I'm also like, no, in the AV setting, it has a other AV requirement. And what we're finding doesn't happen all the time, just happens a few times. Someone will write what their AV requirement is. And then I might go in to tick that they've given it their synopsis, and then it disappears.
Oh, no.
But you can find it in the change log. But if they write more than like 6 or 7 characters, it just disappears. So last year when we had the same issue, because we only happens once a year, they said, oh, it'll be fixed in the upgrade. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So then, of course, I'm starting to get patient things in. I'm like, oh, it's happening again. So
again.
it's currently sitting with Eventsia. So hopefully next week I can give you an all answer. But I'm wondering if anyone else has had this issue.
No,
So
I don't use AV requirements at all.
So is it because you have some preset options you want people to click as well as then be able to do other, or are you only using other?
No, they can pick like some tick box and then there's an other box. So it's only the other box. So what I did like this morning, I know they've been deleting. So I saw that someone had put it in. So I copied the text from the other box, and then you can put it, there's a note section, and copy it into the note sections, hit save, went back in, the other box
What it's
gone.
Oof.
So and it doesn't happen to everyone. Like some people it's working. It's just one of those.
Is it possible?
I'm just trying not to do a custom fit. I know I could probably do that, but it's also like it's there, like it's in the system.
Yeah, you
People are
should-
going into the portal, they're entering it,
Hmm.
it's disappearing. Fix that.
Is it possible that that people could be putting a comma in the other field?
You think, oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's possible that the way that it's storing, and this is just because I've used AV requirements a little bit, and have pulled it out, that it would store it as a comma separated field. And so all the checkboxes are stored as comma separated. And then when it comes to the other field, it could be that it's storing it and then separating it at the comma and then losing it altogether. And it's a very geeky, kind of thought.
But surely if that was the case, it'd save the bit before
Still
the
save the
comma.
bit,
Yeah.
maybe, but it could just confuse the whole thing. Either way, I mean, they should fix that and
It's a quick, easy
accommodate it
test.
and allow it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I think it was this person. Maybe I'm getting the wrong speaker. It looks like it's not even there anymore.
Don't test it, because I prefer everyone thinking that I'm really clever, and that. But if you test it and it's not right, then I just said a random thing for no reason.
Okay.
But it could also just be that when you're going into editing, but the weird thing is the inconsistency of it, right? Like,
Yeah. Like some are. And I think it's only, it might be just but I mean, we manually still go in and I don't know, we like it to be all the speaker bios to be consistent. So we have a certain format we like to do it. So that's my OCD. So I do go into every speaker's
you could automate that.
presentation. I know. Come on. I know. Yeah, all right. Well, you can show me that for next year. I'm pretty much done. It's my brain's air job. So it's just, oh no, I found it was a different speaker. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's an odd one though.
yeah. All right. Well, I have seen this one this morning had lots of dots. And do you think it's full stops or is it just commas?
It could be an encoding thing. So text encoding is a whole thing. And so if they were copying that from somewhere and then pasting it in, there could be some sort of invalid characters that are freaking it out. That could be part of it. There could be some new line characters in there and like character return. And that could be freaking it out. All of these things, Events Air should be accounting for. Like it should process all that and remove those and all that sort of stuff and handle commas and all of that. But it could just be a little bug like that there's certain characters that are not caught and then it breaks it. And only in certain places, perhaps. So
yeah.
But that's the process my mind goes down, is like, what is the consistency? What's the consistent part of the inconsistent experience that people are having?
It was just disappointing when last year they said, oh, it's because of this, it's a fix, it's going to be fixed in the next upgrade, which will obviously post our conference, and then to have it happening again this year, it's like, I thought that was getting fixed last. Anyway,
actually, I've just thought of something that it is with characters and things. I'm sure there used to be a little bit of code you could put into a reg form to say if somebody's typing CEO or CFO, to stop it from going to and then lowercase, and that data cleansing. Some doing some data cleansing. So I've got people that put in caps for full names, and I know you can do that on name badges to fix that. But Does anybody use any little bit of code on a form to stop that happening? Because I'm sure I've gone back to support and said, this used to happen, or I used to be able to do this. And they've said, no, that's never been able to, like,
It was
something that
definitely
can be done, but
something.
I'm sure it was something we could.
I'm sure there used to be something.
There was a hack
There was
a hack script that would be, yeah, like as in it'd be a JavaScript thing.
Oh.
Nice. Happy New Year. Yeah, it would be it'll be a JavaScript that that you're adding into that, that's purposely picking it up. It's one of the things. It's one of that's an example of something that I'm trying to build, something that will do it afterwards, and sort of like once you, particularly for badge printing, is is even doing the first name and last name and having that as title case and not uppercase or whatever, right? Things like that. I mean, phone number is another thing, not necessarily for badges, but for in general, if you're using phone numbers to send text messages to, as an example, then you'll like to have the country code in there. And so I've got a little thing that runs and goes through and then can find if the country code's not included, then add the country code based on the country that they're in. And so it's working through some of those things. So it's interesting titles, CEO, CFO, whatever. It's amazing how sometimes people don't care about the case, do they? It's like they just put it in and it looks weird.
We have it a lot with organizations.
Yeah, totally.
And I know it's really tricky because you can't just say, let's just make everything uppercase, because it's same with surnames. It's one of the things, and this is where AI can help a little bit, actually, because when we're able to do, if we say go to title case for surname, then you have something like McMurray, or have something with Mac or whatever. Well, we can have it so that it detects those names and knows that it should have a capital in the middle or whatever. But ideally, as you're saying, Anna, that you have this pick it up on the input, so it's like so that even alerting people, hang on, you're putting your name in capitals, can we put that in?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, and then you get people who have their first name is all little letters. We've had that where their whole name is little. I mean, I don't know if you know, but there is the trick where if you go back to the field and redo it, then it works, but not that helps. So if you go past, fill the field in and then go back to it and put it all in caps, then it sticks.
Then it saves it.
Yeah, right.
I know that happens, but
so if someone notices when they're going through, but we often do the whole like export everything, fix the company names, add surnames, and then re-import it.
It's still a manual process then doing that, which is just what I'm noticing now when I'm listening. I'm just like, I'll fix that one up.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone's noticed. I'm just going to do a quick PSA. If you've ever noticed that the marketing, if you've got a marketing question as a subtag with more than, I think they said 6 options, when you drag it across, none of the fields are there. And you can manually drag everything across, including the heading. So it's a core issue. I just got a thing this morning saying your ticket's been resolved, and I was like, yes, but because I had one with 50 options and 2 of those on it 60.
Yeah, and you got to put them back into order as well.
And yeah. Well, luckily mine were alphabetical, so it was just literally a drag and where they went. But yeah, so hopefully, because I thought it was just a really random thing, I hadn't picked up the fact that it was more than. And yeah, so I finally got it sorted. Well, actually submitted. So hopefully we might get it.
Hopefully soon.
'Cause I'm like, why can't it be that it works for the big numbers and not for the little numbers?
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to move 6 over 6 fields, but yeah. Anyway, good to catch up.
It's great. Let's do it again next week. I'm gonna check, Francie. I'll check the calendar. Yeah, I'll make sure what's going on there. See what I've done. And yeah, it'll be
Next week is
11:30 Sydney time, 11:30 a.m. Sydney time next week. All right. Thank you,
Live from
everyone.
AIM, I gather.
All right.
live from AIM.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. We'll make it work somehow. Francie's hosting next week.
No,
There you go. Sold.
I've got a coaching call with my business coach.
Oh, right. Okay. We'll
So
see
I
how we
may
go.
or may not be here.
No worries.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
All right.
Have fun at AIM.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.